The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
The following pre-recorded program is brought to you by Vertuvian, a Texas-based registered investment advisor. Now, let the uprising begin.
There are only two genders, and one of them is right here. It's the box that rocks. This is the Angela Box Show on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
Hello. Hello. Once again, all my fellow patriots. I'm doing 10 things at once. All my fellow patriots, any filthy leftist stalkers out there, you're listening to Angela Box Show. I am, what's her face? I have no first world problems today. Steven.
No way.
No, I have one. Well, I have one in that the fact that I have pinball brain. And I told Fred the other day, I was like, we both thought it was something good to say on the show. And then the next day he goes, oh, you'll remember. You don't have to write it down. And I asked him the next day, I was like, do you remember that thing I was going to say in the show? He goes, no. It's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I go, see, this is why I have to write it down immediately.
Must write it down.
Must write it down. I have pinball brain.
I have so many great ideas that if I don't write them, they're gone in the ether.
Yep.
They're just gone.
Yep. Hang on one second. Listen. Oh, here's a first world problem. I'm doing 10 things at once. That's why I'm like, blah, blah, because Fred, we have to sell a bunch of Fred's furniture, his old furniture, because he's leasing out this place of his. And let me tell you something. I've been on Facebook Marketplace like a crazed woman and having to respond to all these messages. And let me tell you about Facebook Marketplace. What's interesting is that you get like a glut of messages like right away, and then they start to trickle down. And so this morning I was like, sale, like lowering all the prices and everything today and all kinds. It's been shenanigans. I'm trying to sell this stuff. We got to move this furniture. Okay. Got to get it out of this place so they can clean it up. And it's cute because when I first met Fred, this is kind of a funny story that it's like a funny Fred and Angela story. Because when I walked into his house for the first time, I mean, he's a cool guy. Like you've met Fred. Very cool guy.
Yes. Very cool.
Very cool. And listen, I dressed him up. I spiffied him up. But I walked into his place and everyone was like, this guy's amazing, right? And I go into his house for the first time and I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, this is not what I expected, because it was super like bachelor pad, like a mishmash of furniture. Like he's a guy. Like there was about 3 or 4 things in there that I'm like, okay, we can take this, and this, everything else. No. And so that's what I'm attempting to sell. And it's not that it's bad stuff. It's just that it's a mishmash of stuff.
So you were surprised that a bachelor had a bachelor pad?
Yes. I was like, this guy, everyone, I told you, like he has fanboys. So I thought surely this guy's going to live in like a show place. No, he's like, I'm a guy. And you know what? I guess I should be gratified that he's a guy. It wasn't like some perfectly decorated place, because you know, he's a real one. He's a real one.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't got time for that.
Yeah. Those guys that have the perfectly decorated place, they're players.
Yeah. Hang on one second. Yeah, totally. I'm trying to sell these shares. Okay, let's talk about some stuff and things, because those are my first world problems. But I do have like some things to talk about. I'm actually clicking off my Facebook Marketplace right now, so I'm not distracted. I'm not distracted.
Probably not the best time to be selling things during your live show.
Listen, Mama's got to sell this furniture. Okay, Mom. If you go to Angela Box Dittman, the Facebook Marketplace, you will find all the wares I have for sale. So by all means, check it out. Okay, so lots is happening as we speak. The other day, on Monday morning, we all woke up, and Trump was already in Israel. He already given a speech. Like this dude, I really think he might be a pod person. I've come to this conclusion. Or he's an alien, because I don't think he sleeps. I don't think this man sleeps. Like he literally seems to go 24 hours a day. I guess he feels like I've only got a small window of time to fix everything, so I might as well just go balls to the wall. And
I think he's always been like that.
Yeah.
If you ever even watch like the old Apprentice show,
I never was into it.
And how he talks about business dealings and how late he worked those people at night.
Oh yeah.
Like it was like there were all-nighters where they had to come up with a marketing project or something for their business, and he always
doesn't sleep.
seemed to be like that. Like what we see him as president is how he ran his businesses.
Well, let me tell you something. The man went like from dawn to dusk, meeting with world leaders, speaking in the Knesset, talking to reporters, doing another speech, talking to leaders, doing another speech, talking to the press. Like it was crazy. And we woke up Monday morning realizing that finally the Israeli hostages, the only 20 people that were still alive, had been released. And it was a bittersweet moment because it was wonderful that those 20 people got released. It is unfortunate that Israel now has to release about 2,500 types, okay? Because they're not widows and orphans. I'm just going to wager that they're not widows and orphans that Israel has of Palestinians, okay? I'm going to just go out on a limb and say that these Palestinians that Israel has being held hostage, these political prisoners, are problematic, as the kids say, but whatever. So that's going to start being released. But Hamas has still not released the remains of the Israeli hostages, which was part of the deal. And they seem to be welching on that deal. And everyone's like, how come there were no women hostages alive? It's like, oh, they did horrible things to them and got rid of them a long time ago. Because, the Palestinians are just so misunderstood, don't you know? Anyway, so it was great to see those hostages released. And it was great to see Trump basically say, listen, you better toe that line, Hamas, because if you don't, all bets are off. In fact, one of the hostages that was recently released basically said that, Hamas was really, really into Kamala Harris. They really wanted Senator knee pads. They were down for Senator knee pads to win. You know why? I mean, for obvious reasons, but they were afraid of Donald Trump, as they should be. Okay. This is how you negotiate with terrorists. You tell terrorists, we're going to blow you off the face of the earth. There's my negotiation with you, as opposed to the rest of these losers like Barack Obama and all these other people who are basically low key, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like we're kind of on your side. Okay. We hate Israel too. And they're like, hey, listen, do you want to have a talk and like give up some land, and Israel can give up some land and you can like shake hands and be cool? Like, would that work? And all the terrorists were like, sure, that'll be great. And then they keep bombing. But with Trump's like, I will blow you back into the 7th century, to which you seem to want to reside. So, F around and find out. And that is what happened, ladies and gentlemen. I continue to be amazed at Donald Trump's stamina. I continue to be amazed at all the things he is accomplishing. And, he realizes he's 80 years old, or maybe 81 now, or how old he is. I think he's 80. On ballpark, maybe 10 more years on this earth, maybe 20 if longevity continues to increase as it seems to be doing, and if he stays healthy. But he's not going to be a 95-year-old dude like running around doing world deals. I mean, hey, what am I saying? Maybe he will be. Maybe he will be Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is running around making deals at 95. So why not Donald Trump? All right, we'll pick this up a little bit when we get back. You're listening to the Angela Bach Show. You guys, as you all know, I'm years old, and I am a young flower. But being a young flower of a certain age, I still get lip lines. I still get lines around my mouth. And it was getting to a point where I was looking like I was sucking on lemons, frankly. And so I somehow came across Angel Lift, and I don't remember where I saw them, but I came across them. And I was like, this seems like an interesting thing, because I'm like, I don't have a ton of extra money. And if I could buy something that plumps out my lip lines without having to go to a doctor and get filler, like, I'm down for it. So I bought these little face guards, or these mouth guards, for lack of a better word. And they totally plump my lip lines out and the little puckers on my mouth. And I was so surprised, because I did some before and after pictures, and I was so surprised at how good it looked. I was like, let me send this to the company. And they were like, yeah, this is like, a standard operating procedure, but they were so kind. They sent me a free pair. And then I was like, you know what? I need to be their ambassador. I need to be an ambassador for Angel Lift, because this is a company, you should get behind. And when you use my name, Angela Bach Show, you'll get 10% off. So go to angellift.com/Angela Bach Show to get 10% off your order. And listen, don't chintz. Don't chintz. Get the professional grade. Those are the good ones. Do it today.
You've tuned into the right place for conservatism. It's the box that rocks. This is the Angela Box Show on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Angela Bach Show. I have a little bit of a departure today for our guest because it is the month of October, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I wanted to bring on my friend Meredith LeBrun because she is a breast cancer survivor. And I wanted her to tell her story. And also, she's got a very cool charitable event coming up with pickleball in a couple weeks. So welcome, Meredith, to the show.
Hi, Angela. How are you doing?
Oh,
Thanks for having me.
So good. Meredith is the wife of my husband's very, very dear friend, Matthew, who was a groomsman in our wedding. And a funnier guy you do not know. Let me just say that. I love Matt. Okay, Meredith, I asked you off the air. I said, listen, I want to make sure that you're comfortable talking about your journey because not everybody is. And
Right.
and honestly, I don't even know the journey. I found out that you had breast cancer just a couple of months ago, and you've been through quite a traumatic situation. So if you want to share that story with everybody.
Yeah, I think so. Really, I mean, probably like anybody that has been diagnosed with cancer, you hear the C word and it quickly becomes like drop to your knees kind of moment. And so I can remember getting the call from my OBGYN. It was November 8th. And
what year was this?
This was in 2022.
Mm.
So yeah, so November 8th of 2022, and getting that call, and then quickly just going into go mode. And that's where I really have to give a lot of props to my husband because he's the one that did all the research. He was my rock during all of this. People do one of two things when they get diagnosed. They either go knee deep into research and get onto Facebook pages and all the things, or you don't. And I took the latter route, and I did not do any of that. And so I just went in it. And, every time you go to the doctor, you're learning something new and different about what type of cancer you have. And so I was ultimately diagnosed with ER/PR positive, HER2 negative, which in the realm of breast cancer is probably the best kind of breast cancer to have from an outcome standpoint, but nonetheless very scary. And so November 8th diagnosed, November 5th I had my first surgery, which was a sentinel node, just to see where that was. And then on December 10th, I had a double mastectomy. So it was from the time I found out to when everything happened, it was a very short time. And then really the work comes in. That's where all of the struggles come of going through something like that, losing a part of your body that, quite honestly, is something that is maybe a sexual thing for some women. And then also it's what fed your children. So losing a part of your body, any limb, I think comes with its own challenges. And so I think anybody who's been through this, you're still dealing with it. There's still daily reminders of that. And I think, probably what my husband and I learned as we were going through the journey together, because it was hard on my family. It was hard on everybody. But one thing we learned is that, we would get on Amazon and order the things I would need for my different surgeries, and that cost money. And we're fortunate that we were able to do that and move forward. But my husband and I just quickly realized that a lot of people out there don't have that option, and they might be living paycheck to paycheck, or they may not have insurance, or maybe they lose their job as they're being diagnosed. And so all those things, it was really heavy on our heart. And so in February of this year, I started a charity. It's called In Him, Pink is Power. And it really came from just my husband and I's idea of simply doing like a drop shipment of surgical supplies to people, to now really trying to spread it out to small items like that, or if you need your mortgage paid, or you need help with your bills, whatever the case may be, any kind of financial need that somebody might have. That's what In Him Pink is Power is all about. So.
Well, I mean, it's remarkable, and I'm thinking about people like Angelina Jolie, who had her mother died of breast cancer, aggressive breast cancer, and when she found out she had that gene, she decided to get a double mastectomy. Is there a reason? Did they just want to do it, even though it was a high cure rate? Did the doctor just say, "Look, let's just be abundance of caution and just go ahead and do this," or did they give you other options, or how did it go from, okay, I've got this diagnosis, to I have to have a double mastectomy? Like, that's so, like, I'm traumatized for you. That's so scary.
Yeah, I think, and they do. I had a great breast surgeon who's now a dear friend of mine, Dr. Liz Lee, and she and I walked through the options. And my mother had breast cancer, and my mother chose to have a lumpectomy. And as another survivor, she said she regretted that. And for me, I just felt like I would rather, let's just take them off and let's move on, because I would hate to leave anything behind. And once we got the pathology report, my cancer was in my right breast, but I had what they call activity in my left breast. Who knows if that actually would have turned into cancer, but I can tell you many years prior that I had activity in my right breast after my youngest was born. So if there was activity, I just wanted them out. And that way I could, rest better knowing that I did everything that I could. So I think every different doctor, every different hospital may have a different view, but where I was, thankfully, we walked through all the different options and then what would be the pros and cons, because had I just done a lumpectomy, I would have had to have radiation. There would have been more testing and things like that. And so it just became a decision that, quite honestly, me and my husband and Dr. Lee thought about, and the three of us prayed about it. And then it was just, this is what we're going to do. So, but I think it's, even now when I talk with other women that are going through cancer, I never say, this is what you should do. I think it really has to be
an individual decision.
And it's a very individual. And I've had women where I think they should have done something different, but that's their journey, right? And we all have to feel good about what we're doing for ourselves. And so I always just give people my story and why I chose what I did, but that doesn't mean that's right for the next person.
So basically, after you had the double mastectomy, you were cancer free. So that was like, okay, it might be the more drastic option, but at least now we know it's gone, and you didn't have to do chemo or radiation, lose your hair, and get sick.
I did not have to do radiation because I did the double mastectomy. And then once you have your double mastectomy, you are waiting like 3 to 6 weeks for an oncotype score. And my oncologist had gone over with me the different grades of if you're 1 through this, you're this, if you're, so on and so forth. And so because we caught my cancer early, I was in that scale on the lower end. So fortunately, I did not have to have chemo. So
thank God for that.
You don't know that going into your double mastectomy, right? Like, you don't know till they get in there exactly what's going on. And so, so luckily I did not have to have chemo. I just take oral medication every day for 5 years.
Well, look, you've turned a horrible situation into a beautiful situation. And, you guys, I wanted to have Meredith on because not only is she a survivor, but she's got this incredible family, just unbelievable family that I love. And I'm sure your kids were so scared, but I also know that you're a family of faith. And I know that, you got the strength of Matthew to kind of hold everything together. And I'm just so happy you're okay. And I had no idea. Like when we talked about it, I was like, what? You had breast cancer? I mean, your doctor did a remarkable reconstruction job. And on that note, you've got a fundraiser coming up.
Yes.
And Fred and I will be there. We will be there.
Yay, okay.
I won't be playing pickleball, but we will be there. So tell everyone about this and how they can come support it or come say hi or whatever they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I started this charity, I really wanted to do events that were different than galas and things like that. And so one of the ideas that my board and I tossed around was pickleball. And so it is going to be October 26th at Pickleball Social right off of I-10. And it's going to be from 3 to 6. It's called Pickle Pink. And you do not need to know how to play pickleball. You do not need to want to play pickleball, or you could want to play pickleball on a competitive level or just for fun. It's really more about just gathering families and friends, not only so that we can raise money, but also so that we can raise awareness that there is a charity like this out there. Because I would argue that everybody that's listening knows somebody that's been impacted by breast cancer. And so having the ability to get the reach out there so that people know that this charity exists, so that if they know somebody who has come through some hard times financially while battling breast cancer, then they can point them to In Him, Pink is Power.
And that's kind of the point of the charity, to help people who may have financial hardship during the cancer struggle, help them out.
Yeah, so
okay.
That's the sole purpose.
That's great.
Is to provide financial need for women that are battling breast cancer.
Oh, I love that. So what's the website? I mean, I can't wait to come and support this. And, God love you, Meredith. I'm so glad you're okay. What is the website so people can come and check it out?
So it is inhimpinkispower.com. And if you go to the events, it has a link to the event, Pickled Pink. So, and, one last thing I've got to say, because, my story is great and it ends with victory as of today for me. But there's many women who don't have this outcome and have lost their battle to breast cancer. And so I also want to, this is part of why I do this too, is I've had several acquaintances and friends and family members that have since passed. And so with my victory, I feel like I just have to do more. So that's what drives me to be a working mama trying to, start this charity, because I just feel like those of us that were blessed to have a positive outcome, we need to fight for other women that who knows what their journey will be.
And whose families may have tremendous hardship because of it. I think it's a great charity, and I'm looking forward to the event. And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Angela. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys. You're listening to the Angela Box Show. We'll be right back. You guys know that there's only about 5 things in this world I'm good at, okay? And I'm not exaggerating. And there's also like 5 things that I actually want to do, okay? Running my mouth is one of them. Creating websites and doing social media posting and all the things that are entailed with being a content creator are things I do not like to do. So thank God I have now the most amazing partners in Becky and Kevin Blaylock with New Frontier Creative. And I cannot recommend them highly enough. They came to my home and they recreated my studio so it looks like super professional and didn't look like some bootleg ugly thing that I was doing for these many years with lighting right on my face. And they were like, let's soften it. Because, you're blah, blah, blah years old and, let's soften it up a little bit. And they really, really fixed everything for me. So if you want to learn more about what they do, and they're both the most talented artists. Kevin, her husband, is more on the video production side, and Becky is more like the graphic design, website person, but they both can kind of do everything, and they're a great team. And if you go to newfrontiercreative.com, tell them that Angela Box sent you, you're going to get 15% off. So bundle everything. Be SMRT and bundle everything all at once. And look, guys, if you're in the Houston area, if you're within 2-hour driving radius of the Houston area, they'll come to your house and set up your studio for you. And if you're not, then they can do everything else for you. Trust me when I tell you, working with patriots, working with MAGA types, that's the way to go, because we're creating the MAGA economy over here. So newfrontiercreative.com, check them out today.
Fighting for the conservative cause. It's the box that rocks. Angela Box on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
I loved having Meredith LeBrun on, and it is so important for all you ladies out there. And I've got to do my yearly booby feel up, the mammogram. Feels like you're being smushed. Got to get that done. Ladies, get your mammograms. Get your mammograms. I'm so glad she's okay. Okay, I'm going to tell on my friend right now. You're not going to believe this. So remember I was typing away?
Yep.
So it's this lady named Olga, right? And she's like, hey, are these chairs still available? I was like, they are. And I said, I can be there about 2:15 today. And she's like, I don't want any chairs. And I go, okay. And she goes, can you not see who this is? Here's my little friend, Olga. Olga! It was my friend, Olga. You little sneaker. You little sneaker. She goes, I was like, who is this a-hole, like, on Facebook Marketplace, like, screwing with people? Like, I don't actually need these chairs. Psych. And then she's, Olga.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, she got me. You got me, Olga. You got me. Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get back to some stuff and things. Okay, so the hostages are released. Hamas has been put on notice. I wonder, what's the over-under on? See, okay, I'm of two minds here. The one thought I'm having is that Hamas is going to immediately break the ceasefire and go back to standard operating procedure and think that Trump's not going to give the okay for Israel to completely destroy them. But then the other part of me is like, no, I think they're going to toe the line. Like the 20-point plan they all agreed to, if they don't do it, it's going to be like a death by 1,000 cuts. Like they're going to be wiped off the map, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I might add. And keep in mind, just remember, for all you, free Palestine people, from the river to the sea people, okay? The inbred Palestinians, and yeah, about 80% of them are inbred. About 80% of them also voted for Hamas to rule them. So, yeah, there's some problems with the Palestinians, but whatever. I hope eventually Hamas is wiped off the planet. Now, something else that happened earlier, maybe it was late last week. The Nobel Peace Prize was awarded, obviously. And I know this is kind of old news, but it bears repeating. Because Obama has stuck his sizable ears back into some stuff, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. But of course, we need to be reminded that Barack Obama, the first Black president, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize after being in office for 6 months and for being Black. Okay? I'm sorry, half Black. He was half Black, and the Nobel Peace Prize were like, oh my God, already the climate is cooling. Already the ocean levels are sinking because of Barack. And isn't he amazing? And Barack's like, suckers. And he listen to this tweet someone put out. Obama dropped 26,171 bombs in a single year on Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, and Pakistan without congressional approval. Donald Trump ended 8 wars in a single year. Guess what? Guess who received the Nobel Peace Prize? Like, whatever. I mean, Trump at this point is like, yeah, whatever. Well, what I love is that the lady that did get it was a Venezuelan opposition leader. And this is how stupid the Nobel Prize Committee is. Like, they're real dumb. Like, they awarded it to a lady who's like hardcore against Maduro, aka the communist. Okay. So what does that tell you about her political leanings if she's against Maduro? Would she be down with like Viva la Revolution? No, she's not. She is conservative, and they hate Donald. Their TDS is such a level that they're like, we don't even care. We don't care. Let's give it to the other lady who's conservative, who then immediately turned around and went all over TV. And I feel like she was embarrassed. And she was like, please don't come for me. Like, she didn't do it. She's not the one who nominated herself. She's not the one who gave it to herself. And I don't think anyone was like coming for her or anything like that. But she was like, it should have been Trump. It should have been Trump. And obviously it should have been Trump. And let's discuss real quick, because there's y'all, there's so much as usual. I want to get to some Antifa news, and I also real quick, let's talk about this Obama thing that's going on. So Barack Obama is not having a very good time of it, because their plans that they had for us all, the globalist plans, the blending of the countries, the destabilizing the Western world with, importing millions of third world migrants. Like, it's not going too well for them. Like, Obama's over there begging Poland to open their borders to migrants, and Poland's like, absolutely not. We're not doing that. And Gert Wilders is over in the Netherlands going, hey, guess what? When I get reelected, we're deporting all the Syrians that they made us take in. Bye-bye. And I mean, it's just not going as well as they thought it was going to go. But Obama's trying to stick his sizable ears into something, some election. He can say, I'm still relevant. People still love me. No, they don't love you. Okay. No, they don't love you. And this is why I love karma. And this is why I love that God's justice, it might be slow. And we may never see Obama stand trial for anything because of such as is the justice system. And even if he would stand trial, does anyone think that some Obama judge or Biden judge or Clinton judge or any other of the swamp denizen judges that just populate the district courts and the federal courts, do we actually think that this man would ever be convicted? Probably not. Okay. But God's justice might be slower, but it is funnier. So now people, if you go on Twitter, new X, as I've said, I love the new X. And don't be fooled for 5 seconds thinking that leftists are not on Twitter. They're still on Twitter, because over on Blue Sky, it's a bunch of sky screamers that are just talking to themselves. They don't have any engagement with anybody that isn't a complete just psychopath like them. And so it's not as much fun for them, and they don't have the reach. So they're still on Twitter. Now, that being said, if you go to Obama's page, Obama gets wrecked in the comments. Wrecked. Anything he posts, he gets wrecked. And now he's sticking his ears into this gerrymandering thing in California because he's nervous. The left is nervous about what Texas has done with the redrawing of the maps, which, never forget that Texas actually went from a 72% Republican, a 65% drawing of the map to a 72%. So that means that the Democrats still have 28% of the seats in the Texas delegation. It's basically, it's not, I would say it's more of a 60-40 state at this point. So maybe it's a little, gilding the lily for the Republicans, but it's not doing what the blue states have done. The blue states have gerrymandered the hell out of everything. And they've cut their maps where they've got, 32, 40% Republicans. And they're like, here's 2 seats for you. You can have 2 seats. That's what whatever. They basically gerrymandered the hell out of everything. They don't have anywhere to go. Texas does. Now, California has 40% of their voters that vote Republican. Okay? 40%. They currently have 17% of their congressional seats that are Republican. All right, quite a bit lower than Texas. Okay, now they want to gerrymander it, so they basically are going to take 5 of those seats away, and I believe, or 7 of the seats away, and so California's only going to have 5 Republican districts, which is a joke because it's 40%. And Obama's out there going, he's doing PSAs for Patrick Bateman, aka Gavin Newsom. And he's like, listen, this is very fair. This is super fair. And this is what the people want. And, you should vote for this because I'm Barack Obama and I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the world, who's definitely all woman, Big Mike. And he thinks that California's going to listen to him, which they probably will. Okay. It's still a Democrat state. They're going to gerrymander as much as they can gerrymander. And so here's what I would say to all the Republican states who are sitting on the sidelines. You should do the same. You should do the same. And they're not only nervous about losing those congressional seats, as they should be, but they should also be nervous about losing congressional seats because of losing illegal aliens. And y'all, this is why. And at the end of the day, when you try and grasp why are the Democrats shutting down the government to give illegal aliens health care, or even if they call them, quote, asylum seekers, these people, this is a name that the Biden administration just slapped on these people. These are all illegals. They're all illegals. They should not be here because none of these people have a right to claim asylum, because people who claim asylum go to the next country over. They don't like hop, skip, and a jump it over to the United States of America and be like, I can claim asylum. No, it's not how it works. Let me just, hey, Stephen, is Haiti next to the United States? Is that a contiguous country next to the United States from Haiti? What is the contiguous? You know the word. The next to country next to Haiti. Let me know. Let me know. No, it's not. Short answer, it's not. So Trump is taking away all those asylum claims and being like, you need to go. And so, of course, that's what the Democrats are shutting the government down for. And don't let them lie and say it's other things. I mean, it's also their money laundering stuff that they're doing, giving 47 million to transgendering Ugandans or whatever they like to do. And Doge was so great about exposing everything the Democrats are doing. But part and parcel, they need those illegals so they can get the congressional apportionment. It's all about congressional seats. Did you find the next country over?
Oh yeah, I was thinking. I knew Haiti was an island, so I knew what you were saying was definitely not the case. But the only
at least you knew that. I didn't know.
The only country that shares a border with Haiti is the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, go there. Go there. Okay. Go there. And listen, Dominican Republican doesn't want those voodoo practicing people either. And I'm sorry. The Haitian story in Springfield, Ohio still gets me. All right. Where they were eating the cats and eating the dogs. And JD Vance was calling it out, and Trump called it out in the debate, and people were like, that's fake news. And people were like showing on social media, look at this Haitian person eating a cat. And there was like, cats going missing in Springfield, Ohio, and dogs going missing just all over the place. I'm sure that has nothing to do with the influx of Haitians, but whatever. Okay, now we've got one more segment. We have a lot to shoehorn in. I don't know what I'm starting with. We'll see. Joe's the Angela Box Show. Steve, let me ask you a question. Do you want to glow? Do you like glowing?
As bright as you?
As bright as the sun? Do you like to glow? Well, let me tell you, if you want to glow like this girl is glowing, you can't really tell in this lighting. It's K-horror, okay? The studio lighting is bad. But if you watch my other videos, you can see in the studio that I have at home, like, she's glowing. Yes. You know why? Because I use Froya Organics Day and Night Balm. That's what I use, ladies and gentlemen. Well, to be fair, in addition to a number of other things. But after a couple of weeks of using Froya Organics Day and Night Balm, my husband said to me, and he's a guy, like, as I've mentioned, he's a man's man. He's like, your skin looks glowing. And I'm like, it does? And I go, it's the Froya. And I was so excited about it. And he goes, get me some of that too. So we get Froya Organics delivered every 2 months in Subscribe and Save. And that's the way to do it because you'll save a little bit of money. Now, you might want to start off with the 4-piece kit to start with. You might want to, but I'm going to low-key tell you, just get the Day and Night Balm. That's what we do. And when you go and you put in Angela Box Show, you're going to get $15 off your first order. So go to FroyaOrganics.com/Angela Box Show and get the glow. Get the Froya glow. And while you're there, look at the before and after pictures. Like, it's legit. It's legit. Froya Organics. Use Angela Box Show. Get $15 off your first order.
Hey, fellow patriots and filthy leftist stalkers. It's Angela Box on AM 1070 and FM 1033. The Answer.
Okay. Before we get into all the stuff in the last segment, I have an announcement. I have kind of it's a bittersweet announcement, I would say. It's not really going to change much, except I'm not going to be in this studio after this week. I'm going to be segueing everything into the home studio, which means I'm sad to say you will not hear Steven, which I'm sad. I'm sad about. But you never know. We might be back one day. Right, Steven?
Right.
Steven's sad.
I'm hoping so.
Who knows? Who knows what the future will bring? But we're segueing back to the home studio, but you're going to be able to see everything, hear everything at Angela Box Show on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, all major social media platforms, and also Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Just put in Angela Bach Show. And if you go there now, there's a lot more content being put up there. The goal is just to get content. And that's what we're doing. Because evidently, I have a lot to say. So there's my announcement. I'm sad.
Limiting you to 1 day a week
It was sad.
is not.
It's not the way.
It is not the way.
I should have a daily thing. And that's what we're building up to. Okay, let's get to some things. The shutdown has now gone into its third week. And the Democrats seem to think they're winning the propaganda war because they only listen to their propaganda outlets. They are not winning the propaganda war, I might add. In fact, the latest polling says that about 65% of the public blames Democrats. I mean, as they should, because the clean CR bill that they voted on like a dozen times prior to now, they're all like, no, you know why? They want to give illegal aliens health care because these are their constituents and they know it and they can't lose them in the congressional maps, as we discussed in the last segment. Now, the Democrats are, instead of like trying to work out some sort of a solution with the Republicans, because their whole thing is they're like, Republicans are taking away your health care. Health care is a disaster. It's because of Republicans. It's like, what? Y'all passed Obamacare. Y'all did that. Not one single Republican voted for Obamacare. Not one single Republican voted to upend the system that we had that admittedly needed some fixes. But Obamacare, never forget, was set up to fail. It was designed to collapse because all the Democrats want to do is get single payer health care. That's all they've ever wanted. They want Cuba. They want the UK. They want us to have a socialist healthcare system. And also keep in mind that when they point to certain countries, like over in Europe, their socialist healthcare system, well, guess who's subsidizing that? The United States. Because that's why our drug prices are so high. Because the drug prices over there are super low because we're subsidizing them. So that's going to be ending too. But the Republicans so far have held the line. And as I've said, this is not George W. Bush's Republican Party. This is Donald Trump's Republican Party. And the Republicans have held the line on this. And the Republicans are like, you know what? You go right ahead and you take your little vacations out in Napa Valley. And you just give the middle finger to all the people who are now furloughed, who are now going to be have reductions in force, which now Trump is going to be hyper focused on that after this hostage stuff is done. You're getting ready to lose all the people that you have in the swamp. All the swamp dwellers that work in the federal government are getting ready to be 86. Now, speaking of that, the Trump administration in a court filing says that 7 agencies began reductions in force a couple days ago. So this was October 10th. So a couple days ago. Commerce, 315 employees. Education, 466. Energy, 187. HHS, 1,100 to 1,200. And you know, Kennedy's like, get rid of them. Can I have 5,000 employees removed? HUD, 442. DHS, 176. And Treasury, 1,446. And hopefully that includes a lot of IRS. Okay, Babylon B, this is good. Let me see if you could see it here. Democrats vow to keep government shut down until someone notices. Yeah, guess what? And Democrats have now promised that they're so cynical and they think this is a flex for them. Like they have nothing else. They are completely just rudderless, okay? They're riding and dying for illegal aliens, and they're riding and dying to make sure that their money laundering grift doesn't stop. And Democrats, like, they're literally over in Napa Valley, like, partying it up. Partying it up. It's a fancy resort. Like, doing what, I ask you? Now, here's the deal. And this is what Trump is so great at. Trump's like, we're going to make sure that we're going to be paying the troops, keeping food. We're going to keep food programs alive for women, infants. So WIC, women, infants, and children, and cutting thousands of federal employees. And federal employees, 95% of all political donations given by federal employees. Do you want to take a wild guess which party they go to? Do you want to guess? I mean, it's hard. It's a hard question. I don't know. It's hard.
Democrat?
It is. 95% of donations go to Democrats. So drain that swamp. They're so dumb. Like they're like, we're not going to stop this shutdown absent planes falling out of the sky. That's what they said. Okay. And Trump's going to figure out a way to get the essential workers paid. Now, speaking of, one of the reasons they're trying to have this shutdown end and have the Republicans cave is because they think that Republicans are going to want to continue the ICE activities and the Border Patrol activities. But here's what they haven't counted on is that ICE and Border Patrol are like totally MAGA. And they're like, we know we're going to get paid eventually. We're not stopping. And they're not going to stop doing their jobs and rounding up the Democrats' constituents. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like, keep rounding them up. And speaking of their constituents, remember like 10 years ago when Obama was talking about the dreamers and all that stuff. And he's like, the dreamers, and let's have the dreamers. And the Republicans were like, the squishy Republicans were like, well, maybe we should give them amnesty. And then the voters of this country were like, over our dead bodies, you're going to do that. And that died. But he did get the deferred action, what was it called? The DACA. He did get that, unfortunately. And I think Trump's trying to get rid of that. But like 10 years ago, people were like, like, we don't have to deport Jose and Maria, right? Like, we don't have to deport our gardener and nanny. Like, we don't have to do that because then we'd have to pay a living wage. We don't want to have to do that. And now the American people are like, not only do we want the criminals gone, obviously. I mean, Democrats don't even want the criminal ones gone. They don't even want the murderers and the rapists and the Trenda Aguas. They ride and die. Listen, they're over there trying to do bills in Congress to stop Trump from blowing up narco-terrorist votes, okay? These people, no matter if they are illegal aliens on our soil or illegal alien adjacent narco-terrorists, they're like, these are our people. We must protect them. Now, what was I saying? I know what I was saying. Okay. 10 years ago, the American people would say, okay, let's look the other way on the good ones, essentially. And now, latest polling, 56% of Americans. That's quite a bit higher than a majority, I would say. I mean, you can get 56% of the American people to agree on anything. It's a miracle. 56% of the American people are like, deport them all. We're sick of this. The longer that we see the fat blue-haired losers screaming at the sky and trying to beat up ICE and Border Patrol, or illegal aliens flipping the bird to the rest of us running around with their Mexican flag, the more the American people are like, deport them all. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we even like pretending this should be a thing? Like, deport them all. Now, I know this is a funny thing. Last thing I'm going to be able to get to. Antifa is in a little bit of trouble, even though they want you to pretend that it doesn't exist. It does exist, and it is quite well organized, and they're ratcheting up for the big No Kings rally this weekend, and the No Kings protests, and the No Kings riots, and there's part of me that hopes they do riot, because if they do riot, Trump can declare the Insurrection Act that much quicker. But over this past weekend, the Portland freaks, the nudists, the people, let's put it this way, the naked people you least want to see naked, okay? The Antifa of Portland last week were like, we were going to just do a naked bike ride for the illegals, but we need to be even better.
Ouch.
And it's cold, but knock yourselves out. They're like, no, we're going to do a die-in. We're going to do a nude die-in. And so they all got naked on their bikes, and they all laid down. They laid down on the road, and they blocked traffic for hours, and not one of them were arrested. It's like, this is why you never vote for Democrats. Don't vote. From dog catcher to president, you never, ever vote for Democrats. And I have one more funny story. Tony Busby got wrapped up in a hacking thing a couple days ago, you guys. Tony Busby, I got this text last night, and it said that Tony Busby was throwing his hat in the race for Senate. And I was like, for F's sake, what? Now, Wesley Hunt, and now, no, it's going to be Paxton, okay? It's going to be Paxton. People are like, what is going on? Why would Tony Busby do that? Turns out he was hacked. And I want to make sure to make that clear. He is pissed. He is pissed. He was like, absolutely not. I did not post that. I'm not running for Senate. I'm supporting Ken Paxton. Who will win? I don't know what Wesley Hunt is thinking. Just saying. I don't get it. All right, guys, please go find me on Angela Box Show on all platforms. I will miss you, Stephen. I thank you, Stephen, for doing such an amazing job.
It's been my honor.
And I love the people here at Salem. And who knows, maybe I'll be back one day. Maybe I'll be back. But until next time, everybody, keep kicking ass and taking names. Peace.